Hi, Miss S. This is my dad.
Hello, how are you?
um, my quote that I chose is peace is a product of both patience and persistence. Right, page 3. So I'm going to ask you what you first think of when you hear the quote because I think of it more according to the book, but you haven't read the book.
Yeah, as soon as you asked me to do this, my first thought was that it has something to do with politics, international relations, warfare. I mean, like that kind of peace.
Yeah.
It didn't occur to me at all, not having read this particular book, that it has anything to do with internal peace, one's own personal peace, or
Yeah.
peace in a family. Um, but the quote, "Peace is a product of both patience and perseverance," could apply to both of those
Yeah.
things and anything else,
I
I
think
suppose, that
it's a
involves
very
peace.
it's a very timely quote for in both like a physical way and a mental way of peace.
Yeah.
I think in the book they talked about peace and it was peace with herself, the main character, but it was also just like peace in life and having like a peaceful and happy family. So like her grandfather, I feel like he was trying to say like how he was trying to help her figure out how to do that. And you haven't read the book, but she learns to read because she's trying to help her son so that he doesn't end up behind the same circumstances because
Okay.
they live in like a was it I can't say it, but it's like a dump kind of
Oh.
in like where they live in a dump. So
Uh-huh.
like I think she was trying to learn to read to help her son, and I think that he was trying to she thought of the quote because she was trying to learn persistence so that she could keep learning to read to help him and cause peace in her family and with herself because I think she struggled.
Uh-huh.
But I think also it's like a timely quote of just what's happening right now.
Yeah. And when this is her father who says this
Her
quote?
grandfather.
Grandfather. I mean, peace is a product of both patience and perseverance.
Persistence.
I mean, or persistence. For some reason, I keep thinking perseverance. I mean, why patience? How does peace come out of patience? That's what I'm asking myself.
Like waiting. It's not gonna happen like overnight. It's like you have to be patient and keep being
Yeah.
persistent and working
Yeah.
and working for it, but it's not gonna just snap of a finger come to you.
And
you gotta work for it.
certainly in the big picture piece of international relations, I know the diplomats, the countries have to show a lot of patience and perseverance in order to work out their differences and bring peace about. That can be very difficult. And I guess on a personal level, I am not a meditator. I tried a few times. It's not really something I'm great at. But I can see that if you're going to, and people always talk about how peaceful that makes them feel.
Yeah.
You have to be patient, waiting to get to that point, and you have to be persistent
Yes.
in getting to that point by doing it over and over again in the right frame of mind. So in that sense, I can see that it would be true as well.
Yeah. I feel like patience and persistence like kind of go together too though. Like somewhat is like you persistence is like it's like really trying. Well, he's like kind of like stubborn, I guess, in the same kind of.
Well,
Like
it's
you're
not
persistent
giving
with
up.
something.
Yeah, it's not giving up. You keep trying.
If you're gonna keep in trying and trying, and even if you're not getting anywhere, but you just like keep being persistent about it, you gotta have patience. I feel like they go hand in hand.
I think you're right. I think they often do.
So I think that's why her grandpa said it, and I don't know. It's just like I think with like when you talk about peace inside, it's like such a long battle for some people. So I think persistence is really a big part of that. And same with patience because you can't like with everything you gotta have patience because you can't expect it to happen overnight with most things.
It will happen in its own time because you can't really force it.
Yeah.
I mean, you
can
can
try. But
yeah,
not work.
yeah, and in the international relations area, occasionally there are peacekeepers that are sent into countries by the United Nations to keep essentially to keep the sides apart and keep it sort of under control.
Yeah.
But that's not real peace. Real peace is when the two parties have worked it out and they can coexist with one another peacefully without fighting, without resorting to violence.
Yeah.
And that is only something that the people themselves can do. They cannot be forced to do it.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I picked this quote though, is what you were talking about when you first heard it.
Yeah.
With how it's like timely, is I felt like it kind of spoke to me for like just the time we're in.
Yes.
And I think the going you can't force it is that's like something people need to like, I guess like kind of realize right now that we're all like going through the same thing, but you can't try to force anything and make it better. You just gotta wait it out, kind of.
And be persistent in trying to bridge those differences.
Yeah. And
yes.
just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like the quote though.
Yeah, it's a great quote. It's a thought-provoking quote.
Yeah. I think that's our do you have any last statements?
Thank you, Ms. S. Appreciate all your work with all of the kids, especially with Una.
Thank you. I'll see you on Monday.